founder Acharya of Worldwide Hare Krishna movement. Srila Prabhupada ki. So during this Kartik month, we've been having a theme. Of course, it's 9 days to summarize is difficult. I'll just go quickly. Our life is actually compared to an exam. It's not just a exam or an exam. It's a series of exams. There are a set of tests we are exposed to, and some of these tests we want, some of these tests we don't want, or we like or dislike, and life goes on like this. But then some people may say that, okay, my life is going fine, I don't care what you are saying. But there is a test that we all have to face in life, which we don't have a choice. It doesn't matter whether we are illiterate or literate. That is called the ultimate exam of life. And that exam, if you have to be successful, as it is mentioned in all the Vedic literatures, the Vedas, Upanishads, the Puranas, Srimad Bhagavatam, everybody is talking about this beautiful verse. एतावान् सांख्य योगाभ्याम स्वधर्म परिनिष्ठया जन्मलाभ परापुंसान् ante narayana smriti. So I did a lot of things. I had a nice house, I took care of my children, I had a lot of responsibilities which I took care nicely. But ultimately, if I'm not able to remember the Lord Narayana, it's all useless. This is what the Vedic literatures are saying. Ante Narayana Smriti. But is it easy? It's not that easy. It's difficult. That is why there are festivals like this which can inspire us. If we make a delta change in our life, 1%, 1.01 raised to the power 365 is actually 37.7. Doing nothing at all versus a small consistent effort can make a huge difference. People in Kali Yuga who are ignorant, who do not know, and who are busy in their materialistic lives, somehow or other, if they get attracted to spirituality and do little, a life can transform. So the day 2, we spoke about where do we get this knowledge? What kind of knowledge are you talking about for this exam? And who is the source? So we saw this from this beautiful verse. Yasvanubhavam akhila shrutisāramekam adhyatma deepam atitīrshatam tamo andham samsārinām karunayāha purāna guhyam tam vyasasunamupayami guru muninam. Actually, the sages, the acharyas, they have a lot of compassion. They can see that people like us who are going to come in this Kali Yuga, we will have a lot of troubles, a lot of difficulties, a lot of miseries. So samsarinam karunayaha, out of deep compassion, they leave behind this knowledge so that we can take advantage of this knowledge. We can use it in our life and we can transform. Anyway, this is the second day meditation. Third day, we spoke about a powerful medicine, a tonic that we should take. Like for example, in exams, when did you get done with your exams and all? You said you finished your studies this year, March. So you know what it is, to appear for an exam and the pressure and the tension. People take all kinds of things. So we say take this beautiful medicine. Vyamoha prasamausadham munimano vritti pravritti ausadham दैतेन्द्रार्तिकरौषधं त्रिभुवने सञ्जीवनैकौषधं भक्तात्यन्तहितौषधं भवभयप्रध्वंसनैकौषधं श्रेयप्राप्तिकरौषधं पिबमनः श्रीकृष्ण दिव्यौषधम्. This medicine is a very powerful medicine. It has got 7 benefits. Of course, it's a verse from the Vedic scriptures. If you search for a verse called Ausadham verse, and this verse will come out. This is the perfect medicine for curing the disease of bewilderment. Vyamoha prasamos. People are confused. They don't know what to do, where to go, what is the right thing to do, which is not the right thing, what is good, what is not good. All these kinds of confusion are very deeply rooted in our mind and heart. It is the perfect medicine for curing the disease of bewilderment, for inspiring sages to engage their minds in meditation. This we did in the third day. Fourth day, we wanted to see what is the mentality of toppers. Who are those people who become successful in this exam? What do they talk about? Like, usually if you have IIT, JEE or CAT, you have some coaching institutes, they will have this toppers photos and also interviews. I studied hard, I did this, I used to drink every day morning, waking up a glass of Bonvita. So everybody starts buying Bonvita and starts drinking that. But we need to know what is that mentality that helped one to excel in those exams. And the people who came out successful in these exams are the gopis. They're the toppers. They are considered to be the most advanced devotee. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Aradhyo Bhagavan Brajesha Tanaya. Aradhyo Bhagavan Brajesha Tanaya Tadhama Vrindavanam. Ramya Kachid Upasana Brajabadhu Vargena Ya Kalpita. The worship of the gopis is the topmost. And among the gopis, it's Srimati Radharani, who's the head. And her devotion and her sacrifice, her surrender is unparalleled. So, what do they think that we saw in the form of Venu Gita? These are all very, very interesting topics, but unfortunately, I can't go on talking about this. This is there in our YouTube. You can take a look at it. Every day, there is a particular series that we have spoken about. How, for example, in this movie, this protagonist, the main character, he says, this peak of that mountain is my goal. Something like that, the goal, the toppers, like the gopis are telling, for those who have eyes, we think there is no greater object of vision than to look at this Tribhangi form of the Lord. Very beautiful. So we saw all of those on fourth day. Fifth day, we were talking about how do we mold our life, because to ultimately to become successful in this exam, it's not a one-day effort. It requires some consistent change. So there are 5 things which came out of it, which are the most pivotal things: Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtan, Bhagavat Shravan, Mathura Vas, and Sri Murtira Shraddhaya Sevan. Sadhu Sangha is nothing but association of devotees. Nama Kirtan is chanting the names of the Lord. Bhagavat Shravan is hearing from Srimad Bhagavatam. Mathura Vas, to live in a place of pilgrimage, or at least in a place which is close to the temple, and revolve your life around that temple. Sri Murtira Shraddhaya Sevan, and engage in deity worship, engage in the worship of the deities. So, moving on, sixth, how we thought how we can become an instrument in the hand of the Lord. This is a verse which comes in the Bhagavad Gita. Tasmat tvam utishta yasho labhasva jitva satrun bhungsva rajyam samruddham maye vaite nihata purvam eva nimitta matram bhava sabhyasachan. So we saw all these things. I'll quickly go to today's thing because that also is a very long thing. Then we spoke about mock test. I don't know how many of you have written GRE to come here. You've written? No. But I myself had written to come to the US some point in time. So in GRE there is something called the high frequency word list. There is roughly about 333. So if you have memorized this 333 high frequency word list, there is a good chance that you will at least get some 50-60% from that. So there is a Acharya who's telling these are the most important thing. Most. You forget about everything else. You are busy with so many things, but at least remember this. He martya paramam hitam shrunuto vo vakshami sanshepata samsararnavamapad urmi bahulam samyak pravishya stita nana jnanam apasya chetasi namo narayaneti amum mantram sapranavam pranama sahitam pravartyadvam muhu. This is written by Kulashekar Alvar in a beautiful book called Mukunda Mala Stotra. Hey Martya, people who are all subjected to death, that's all of hey, because we are all busy in our lives. So he's addressing, oh, whatever your name is, oh, Sadananda, oh, Badrinarayan. So we become, when our names are called out, we become little attentive. Hey Martya. Otherwise, people, nowadays you go to any place, they will usually have their phone. Even if they come to temple for 15-20 minutes, their also phone is busy in the hands. We're looking at something and so distracted and doing something which is all not really very important, very trivial thing. But that becomes very important because we don't have the right priority. So he's telling, hey Martya, oh people who are all subjected to death, paramam hitam, I'm going to tell you the most beneficial thing. Shrunuto vo vakshami sanshepataha. So how long are you going to tell? Are you going to take a lot of time? No. He's saying, don't worry, I'll not take a lot of time. Sanshepata. Very briefly, I'm going to explain. Samsarar navamapada urmi bahulam samyak pravishya sthita. This samsara, this material world, is compared to an ocean which is got filled with waves. Big waves are coming. And these waves are apada urmi. They are very, very dangerous. It's not some simple things. Samsarar navamapada urmi bahulam samyak pravishya sthita. Where are we placed? Are we on the source? Very safe? No. Samyak pravishya sthita. We are deep within the ocean and we are looking at those waves coming at us. That is what is our position. So he's telling first thing that we have to do is Nana Jnanam Apasya. You're an engineer, you're a chartered accountant, you're a doctor, you're a businessman. Very good, great. You have successfully done your material knowledge. Keep that knowledge aside. We don't need that knowledge. Nana Jnanam Apasya Chetasi Namo Narayaniti Amum Mantram. From your heart, not from your mouth, from your heart, chant the names of the Lord. Om Namo Narayanaya. Namo Narayaniti Amum Mantram. Sap Pranavam Pranama Sahitam. Bow down before the Lord. When you come to the temple, people come, I don't want to repeat, but sometimes, when you come, even if you are sitting here, sometimes some new person, they walk in. Various kinds of people do various kinds of pranamas. Some come, they will circle around there, 4, 5 times, and they'll do like this, and they'll go. Some fully pay obeisances. That also they don't know how to pay obeisances. Some are very conscious about their body, clothes, all those things, that they will not do proper obeisances. So they'll come like this, and then they'll go. As if Lord is there, some kind of this thing. Have you seen this? There are people do that, all kinds of things. But he's telling pranama saitam. Bowing down before the deity itself, you get so much of mercy. So that we spoke about in the 7th day. 8th day we spoke about the 5 recommended ways to mold our life. The first one was sadhu sangha, association of devotees. Jaisa sang vaisa rang. The people with whom we associate, that kind of mentality we get. Associate with good people. Hear this knowledge. Otherwise, who will tell all these things? So the 8th day we spoke about association of devotees. Then the 9th day we spoke about, which was yesterday. Yesterday was a very auspicious day. It was Bahulastami. So what is the significance of Bahulastami that we saw yesterday? About Vrindavan, the glories of Vrindavan. Do you know a place called Vrindavan exists in India? Where is it? Near Mathura. Where is in Uttar Pradesh? Some people they hear Vrindavan, or maybe somewhere. We don't. I mean, we are all from India. The place Vrindavan is so beautiful, so glorious. If you get a chance, you go back to India, go to Vrindavan, visit sometime, spend some time there. That we saw yesterday. Now today, on the 10th day, this is Radha Kund we saw. On the 10th day, November 6, 2023, we are going to talk a little bit about Bhagavat Shravan. What is the importance of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam? Of course, this is not a summary, but this is very, very wonderful. So anybody knows who are coming for the first time? I'm seeing you both and you both as first time coming to temple. Do you know who has written Bhagavatam? You can go give a guess. Go for a guess. Who? Oh, yeah, that's the right answer. Vyasadeva has written Bhagavatam. Interestingly, we don't know the glories of some of these acharyas who have come in our tradition. Vyasadeva is the compiler of all Vedic literatures. He has written all 4 Vedas, 108 Upanishads, Itihasas, Mahabharata, 18 Upapuranas, the Brahma Sutras, 550 Brahma Sutras. Big scholar. But many don't know in what sequence he has written. He wrote all Vedic literatures except for Bhagavatam, and after having written all those Vedic literatures, he was feeling a kind of void in his heart. Something like, there is a pinprick. You feel sometimes like, kuch to kami hai. There's something missing. So he was getting that kind of a feeling. I will chant this verse just to give you the context what this Srimad Bhagavatam is, because often people don't know, and you see how beautiful this. So he is telling, Evam prabhratasya sada bhutanam shreyasi dvijaha sarvatmakenapi yada natushya dridhayam tataha. So there was a dissatisfaction. Though he wrote all kinds of Vedic literatures for the welfare of people, there was something he was not feeling satisfied. So at that point in time, he was thinking, contemplating, why did this feeling come to me? I mean, I have written all these Vedic literatures for the well-being of the people, for the welfare of people. Still I am not feeling satisfied. So he himself is thinking, and he is saying, Kimba Bhagavata dharma na prayana nirupitaha priya paramahamsanam taeva hi achyuta priya. So he is saying, this may be because I did not specifically point out the devotional service of the Lord, which is dear both to perfect beings and to the infallible Lord. Priya paramahamsanam taeva hi achyuta priya. To the Lord also this is dear, and who are paramahamsanams, who are perfect beings. So probably I didn't glorify sufficiently the glories of the Lord or devotional service. That is why I'm feeling this kind of a dissatisfaction or a void. Right at that time, when he's thinking like this, Vyasadev's guru comes. You know who's Vyasadev's guru? It's a difficult question. Good guess. You want to guess? Who could be Vyasadev's guru? You might be thinking of Vyasadeva itself. We didn't know what to talk about his guru. Vyasadev's guru is Narad Muni. So Narad Muni somehow comes there and he says, Parasarya Mahabhaga Bhavatah Kachidatmana Paritushyati Sarira Atma Manasa Evava. Parasaryasya Mahabhaga. Parasar, actually, Vyasadev's father's name was Parasar. Parasaryasya Mahabhaga. Oh, great, fortunate soul. You are the son of Parasar. Sometimes people say little sarcastically. Oh, yeah, great person from Andhra Pradesh. You're a great, doing success. Actually, he has a vyanga. There is a sarcasm which is, there inside his talk. Something like that. Narad Muni is telling, Parasaryasya Mahabhaga. You are a great son of Parasar Muni. Bhavata Kachidatmana Paritushyati Sarira Atma Manasa Evaya. So you are, you have written all these Vedic literatures, thinking yourself to be body and mind, glorifying body and mind. You must be very happy or satisfied by doing that. He is doing actually in a sarcasm way. Addressing Vyasadeva, the son of Parasar, Narada inquired, are you satisfied by identifying with the body or the mind as the objects of self-realization? So it is not true. Actually, we are all spirit soul. Since he didn't do that, so Narada Muni is doing it in a sarcastic way. Then, very interestingly, Narada is telling what you should do now. Bhavatanudita prayam yasho bhagavata malam yene vasu natusheta mannita darshanam khilam. Bhavatanudita prayam yasho bhagavata malam yene vasu natusheta mannita darshanam khilam. Actually, he is telling whatever you have written so far, all useless waste of time. They are not good at all. Now you directly glorify. Talk about the Lord. Actually, the Lord needs to be glorified. When we properly hear the glorification of the Lord, our heart feels that satisfaction. That void that we are having in the heart, we are not satisfied, we are trying this, we are going to this place, we are doing that, we are doing this. All kinds of TikTok we are seeing, YouTube, 2 minutes, 1 minute, reels. Nothing is satisfying. Constantly our mind is looking for some engagement, something new, something titillating. But he's telling, just here. Just glorify the Lord. The Lord deserves to be glorified and you should do that. Bhavatanudita prayam yasho bhagavata amalam yenevaso na tushyata manyeta darshanam khilam. You have not actually broadcast the sublime and spotless glories of the personality of Godhead. That philosophy which does not satisfy the transcendental senses of the Lord is considered worthless. So it is very important in our life also. Unfortunately, people come to the temple, but they don't get a chance to hear, because most of the temples, they don't talk about the glories of the Lord. You see one pujari who's standing there and he does some kind of worship or rituals, and people also feel that's all, the temple are meant to be just that much. I give some money, I do some seva, I do some puja, and I go back. No, we are supposed to hear the glories of the Lord. And when we hear the glories of the Lord in a proper way, coming in a parampara, our heart feels complete satisfaction and jubilation. That is what this whole world is hankering for, and yet they don't know. So there is a very beautiful verse that comes in Bhagavatam. For the paucity of time, I'll keep going myself. Nayad vachas chitra padam harer yasho jagat pavitram pragranita karhichit tadvayasam tirtham usanti manasa nayatra hamsa niramanti usikshaya. Nayat bachas chitra padam harer yasho. So this in this verse, this is Narad Muni who's telling, actually those places where there is no glorification of the Lord, that is a place of pilgrimage. Really? Did you hear correctly what I said? Those places where there is no glorification of the Lord, that is a place of pilgrimage. How many places of pilgrimage you have visited or you have been to, or at least you know? Gaya, Kashi, Rameswaram, all these places, Puri, Dwaraka. So, but he's adding one more. Nayad bachas chitra padam harer yasho jagat pavitram pragranita karichit. That place where there is no glorification of the Lord is actually a place of pilgrimage. For whom? For people tad vayasam tirtham usanti manasa. People who are materialistic, who are having that crow kind of a mentality, they go and assemble in those places where there is no glorification of the Lord which is happening. They assemble there and talk about all cinema, politics, this, that, and they get some pleasure out of it. Nayatra Hamsa Niramanti Usikshaya. Whereas the swans, have you seen the swans? Where do the swans live? Dirty water? Filthy? No. No. Swans live in clean water. They don't go to dirty place. Crows go to all this dirty place, filthy place. They assemble over there. And the crows and the swans, they don't come together. Swans don't go to the place where crows come. This is what it is mentioning, that those places where there are some kind of people whose drive, whose pleasure only comes by hearing some gossip, something, some politician, some movie, some this thing. Life is wasted. That's a place of pilgrimage for those where this kind of topics are discussed. They go there, malls, all those kind of places. But there is another class of people, the swan class of people. They come to another place where there is association of devotees, where there is Harikatha which is being discussed. So it's a very interesting verse. They don't come together. But I say that actually inside our heart, both the swans as well as the crows are there. We like to hear the Harikatha sometimes when we come to the temple and get an opportunity. But also there is inside us the crow, which is also wanting to hear some cricket or something, some cinema, this thing. That also we have an attraction. But it is important which one we are feeding the most. If we are coming to the temple, at least we get a chance to hear Harikatha. The swans is getting fed. If we go to some other place, then the crows become too much in our heart. And if the heart is dirty, unclean, then the Lord will never manifest in that place. There is a beautiful song which says our situation. If you want, you can repeat after me. Hari hai dayal mora, Jaya Radhanatha. Baro baro ei baro, Loh nij satha. Then the next line. Bahu yoni brahminatha, Loinu sarana. Nij guye kripa koro, Adhama tarana. Very beautiful verse, very touching verse. Hari hai dayala moro, Joy Radhanatha. Hari, the Lord is extremely merciful. Hari hai dayala moro, Joy Radhanatha. Baro baro ei baro loho nija satha. I pleaded with you, and now I beg you yet again to accept me as your own. Actually, we have forgotten our relationship with Krishna. We have forgotten the relationship with the Supreme Lord, who's our best well-wisher. He always wants the best thing for us. It is the Upanishadic verse says that in the same tree there are two birds who are sitting. One bird is busy eating the fruits. Sometimes the fruit is bitter, sometimes the fruit is sweet. The other bird is patiently looking when this bird will turn towards me. Our position is something like this. In this samsara, sometimes we are experiencing happiness, sometimes we are experiencing sadness, but we are busy eating those fruits, forgetting that we don't belong to this place. One day, there will be death and we'll all be gone. It will be all over. But we are so occupied, engrossed, that we don't even care that our life is coming to an end. That's why Bhagavatam says, Ayur harati vaipumsan udyan astancha yanaso tasyarte yat kshana lokan uttama shloka vartaya. Ayur harati vaipumsan. Every day when the sun rises and sun sets, if you are in the America for the first time, if you are visiting and you're interacting with some Americans, they talk so much about, the weather is so good today. Great weather. How's the weather? So what's the temperature? And today is the day we should go out. They talk about so many things. We also get carried away. We don't talk so much about the weather in our country. But seeing them, we also get influenced. But Bhagavatam is telling, Ayur harati vaipumsan udyan astancha yanaso. When the sun rises and the sun sets, apart from so many things which are happening, one thing which is happening for sure, somebody is taking away, snatching away one day of your life. That means you are becoming one day close to death. Ayur harati vaipumsan udyan astancha yanaso. That time gone is gone, but we are busy in so many things. So this devotee here, she is praying that, okay, oh Lord, so many lifetimes have gone. Bahu yani brahminatha loinu sarana. Now I am taking your shelter. Please somehow be merciful to me, because you are very merciful. Deliver this wretched soul. Nija goe kripa karo adhamatarana. I am a very fallen soul. I have got no this thing, no attraction. Somehow, oh Lord, please help me. Please protect me. Anyway, then next verse, Narad Muni is telling, Tadvag visargo janatagha viplava yasmin pratishlokam abadhavatyapi namani anantasya yasho ankitani yat shrinvanti gayanti grinanti sadhava. Beautiful verse. This Bhagavatam may appear like any other literature that we are reading, probably another thing that you are speaking about. No, Tadbhaga visargo janatagha viplava. People who are sinful, who do not know what is the goal of life, who are ignorant, who are busy in this materialistic life, if they hear, if they get a chance to hear, Tadbhaga visargo janatagha viplava, it can bring a revolution in the sinful lives of impious people. Tadvaga visargo janatagha viplava yasmin pratishlokam abadhavatyapi. Narad Muni is telling that even if it is improperly composed, there is no question of improperly, it is absolutely properly composed, perfect meter. Yasmin pratishlokam abadhavatyapi namani anantasya yasho ankitani yat shrinvanti gayanti grinanti sadhava. Sadhus, those people who are devotees, they love to hear, they sing, they glorify this Bhagavatam. So you get a chance to hear. You don't know, actually the heart gets cleansed, heart gets purified and satisfied just by hearing. On the other hand, that literature which is full of descriptions of the transcendental glories of the name, fame, forms, pastimes, etc. of the unlimited Supreme Lord is a different creation, full of transcendental words directed towards bringing about a revolution in the impious lives of the world's misdirected civilization. Such transcendental literatures, even though imperfectly composed, are heard, sung and accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest. Actually, some of us, we get this opportunity, we understand the importance of it, yet we don't execute it in our life. Some people deliberately want to choose something which they want, which they like. The Damodar month means just offering ghee lamp. We will exactly time and reach there at 8:15, 8:20 or whatever it is. Just offer the lamp and go back. Better than not doing it. But more important than that is getting a chance to hear. Very rare, very, very rare. Who gets this chance? People don't know the importance sufficiently, the power of hearing, the power of the effect of hearing, how it can cleanse our heart. Unfortunately, they remain in their own situation, in their own world. Very unfortunate. So when Narad Muni told all these things to Vyasadeva, Vyasadeva understood. Okay, now I have to glorify properly. I have to write something which is a direct glorification of the Lord. And he sat down in meditation before writing Bhagavatam. And what he saw in his meditation, Bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranihite male apashyat purusham purnam mayam chatadapashrayam. So when Vyasadeva sat down in meditation, he could see the Supreme Lord standing perfectly, and Maya subservient to him. Behind Krishna, Maya was standing, and he could see this in his vision. And he also saw, in the next verse it is mentioned, Yaya sammohito jiva atmanam trigunatmakam paropi manutenartham tatkritam chavipadyate. He also saw, so first he saw Krishna is standing, behind him, behind Krishna, Maya Devi is there, subservient to him. Also he saw that there are jivas, there are all of us who are under the control of Maya Devi. Actually, we are not supposed to be under her control. But now, because Paropi, we are thinking we are this body, we have come under the control of Maya Devi. And that is why we are struggling in this material world, trying to maintain, trying to become happy, trying to live eternally. Not possible. This is Dukhalayama Sasvatam. So then, what is the solution? So here is the verse. Anartha upasamam, you can repeat after me. Anartha upasamam sakshat bhakti yogam adhokshaje lokasya janato vidvams chakre satvata samhitam. Anartha upasamam sakshat. Actually, there are so many miseries, so many difficulties we are facing. We are not supposed to. I'm not supposed to go through this. Unfortunately, people think this is how life is. We are supposed to go through these problems, difficulties. No. Anartha upasamam sakshat bhakti yogam adhokshaje. He's telling the solution, anarthas, this unwanted miseries, difficulties which are coming, can be mitigated by bhakti yogam adhokshaje, by engaging in the process of devotion to adhokshaja, to the Supreme Lord. Another name of the Lord is Supreme Lord, adhokshaja. So bhakti yogam adhokshaje. Lokasya janato vidvans. However, most people do not know about it. That is why Chakre Satvata Samhita. That is why the Srimad Bhagavatam has been composed by me. Very beautiful. Why this Bhagavatam is there? The material miseries of the living entity, which are superfluous to him, can be directly mitigated by the linking process of devotional service. But the mass of people do not know this, and therefore the learned Vyasadeva compiled this Vedic literature, which is in relation to the supreme truth. How does it work when you hear Bhagavatam? We'll take this verse, one verse, and then we have 7 minutes. We will chant few more verses. It is actually, you may feel that this Sanskrit verse, I don't know Sanskrit, whether it is going to make sense if I'm chanting improperly. Don't worry about that. Chant these verses with feelings, with complete sincerity. It will work even if you don't understand the meaning. So this verse you can repeat after me. Yashyam Vaishruyamanayam. You can chant loudly. Krishne Paramapurushe Bhaktirutpadyate Pumsaha Sokamoha Bhayapaha. Actually, there are some places where we ourselves even hesitate to say that, we are devotees of Krishna. We don't want to say openly. We feel what other person will. Why are you talking about Krishna? Kyun? We are Krishna's. We are his part. And he is meant to be glorified. And when we glorify properly, without fear, without inhibitions, practicing properly, great transformation happens. Yashyam by Shruyamana, and just by hearing proper glories of the Lord, Krishna Paramapurusha Bhakti Rutpadyate Pumsa. In our heart, bhakti gets sprouted. These are all poetic way of saying, but like, you put some seeds and then it sprouts, something like that. This, when you hear, that is the seed, bhakti gets sprouted. So bhakti gets sprouted, then what happens? Soka moha bhayapaha. See, this entire world, people are immersed in these three things. Soka, moha, bhaya. Soka is lamentation for things that we could not achieve in our past. I wanted to do this, I wanted to achieve that, I could not. Moha is the illusion for the present, and bhaya for the future. Fearful of future. Soka, moha, bhayapaha. So, even our Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, when he came to the US, he composed a song, and there he says that there is one line that he writes, Bhagavatere katha se tabha avatar, dhira hayya sune jadi kane bar bar. Bhagavatere katha se tabha avatar. Bhagavat is actually an incarnation of the Lord. Bhagavatere katha se tabha avatar. If a person becomes a little dhira, patient, sober, and hears this, dhira hayya sune jadi kane bar bar. Repeatedly. One hearing is not enough. If you repeatedly get a chance to hear, then all perfection you'll get it in life. And this is something which is exhibited in Vrindavan. We have 5 minutes. So, and our deities are named as Damodar. So we will sing some songs. This is beautiful. How many of you know this song called Govinda Damodara Madhaveti? You've heard of? Heard of? You've heard of? Okay. So we will sing this. You repeat after me. See the mentality of these gopis who are there in Vrindavan. How their lifestyle is. Vikretu kama kila gopakanya Murari padar pita chitta vritti Dadhyadikam moha vasadavocha Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Vikretu Kama. Actually, the gopis have gone to sell curd, milk, Vikretu Kama, Kila Gopa Kanya. But their mind, when they have gone to sell all this milk, curd and other milk items, their mind is absorbed with Murari. Murari Padar Pita Chitta Vritti. Mind is fully absorbed in that. So instead of saying Dahi Lelo, Makhan Lelo and all this thing, they are saying Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. So like that, there are many verses. These are all wonderful verses, but unfortunate people, all of us, we don't get a chance to hear. We don't know where are the sources. And the acharyas are very compassionate. They have left behind. No, you please take advantage. A rare human form of life where we think we have a lot of time and I can take things slowly, and other material things are very important for us. So we don't properly prioritize and always keep this at the back seat. Some other time we will see. But all the acharyas are telling that we should take it very urgently. There is a sense of urgency. Who knows what is going to happen tomorrow? But we miss out on this and we are busy in so many other things. So there are, I can go on chanting this, but we have 2 more minutes. Maybe we'll take one more verse. Utthaya gopyo pararatra bhoge स्मृत्वा यशोदा सुतबालकेलिं गायन्ति प्रोच्चैर्दधिमन्थयन्त्यो गोविन्ददामोदरमाधवेति. श्री राधा दामोदर की. Utthaya gopyo pararatra bhoge. So gopis, when they get up in the morning, they are remembering Smritva Yashoda Sutavala Kelim. Yashoda Sutta is Krishna. They are remembering the pastimes of the Lord. Smritva Yashoda Sutavala Kelim. Gayanti Procher Dadhimanthayanto. They are churning the milk, butter, and they are, while churning, they are singing Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. So these are all wonderful nectarian pastimes of the Lord. Only a fortunate soul, when he is ready to come out of this material world, gets a chance to repeatedly hear. Otherwise it is not possible. Sometimes people think hearing is little less compared to somebody who's speaking. No, Bhagavatam says a person who hears, person who speaks, person who asks questions, all three get purified. So it is our great fortune in this month of Kartik, in a place like Boston, we are getting a chance to hear. But we are unfortunate, we miss out on this. So next program is Damodarashtakam, very beautiful composition by Satyavrata Muni, which we chant this whole month of Kartik. So now we will be singing this song, participate in this, and then you will get a chance to offer ghee lamp. So thank you for coming. Shri Shri Radha Damodar ki.